I've been spending far too much time with my headphones on.
Well, am I vlogging again? Maybe.
I've been learning all the words.
It'd be kind of fun to just do, like, I don't know, like my van build, but not really my van build, because it's not a tutorial, because quite honestly, I have no clue what I'm doing. Everything is borrowed, except for this. I own one of these. Yeah, and I randomly own, it's not for COVID, but it measures the temperature of something. Right now that's 79.3 degrees. I wonder if that's bad for the camera. Maybe. Anyways, so I'll give you a little bit of an update on where I'm at in the van. It's taken a really long time, and I'll show you. Hold on. Well, yeah. Well, if you're like me, you do projects and you start them from time to time, and you really don't know what you're doing at all. And then you learn some things, you break some things, and it takes you a really long time to start over. So essentially, I'll kind of walk you through my mishaps and what I've done. I've torn everything out. So I got all the flooring, all the stuff off the walls, various different things. And I went to start putting these bad boys in, right? And so I had pressed it against the wall, screwed it in, and I got what is called a self-tapping screw. Now, hold on. This right here. Maybe. Oh, I could be like a makeup person right now. Gee, dang it. This is my van build as a whole. There it is. Ooh. Ooh. Autofocus. And when I put it in the dealio, in the wood, I have a longer one, but I drilled it in, and then the wood just popped right out. And I thought to myself, that's not how this is supposed to happen. So, brought us to where we are today. I followed this, these van builders. They're called, they have Louis the Van, and they taught me, unknowingly, about a rivet nut. Rivet nut, you screw on here, shoop, go like that. Then, if you can see up here, or right there, you essentially drill a hole into the van, push this bad boy through, and then what it does is it crunches the back of this to the back of the wall, and then now you have a spot for this bolt to go in. And so then that allows for me to do this, and now we're good. So I need to do the other side, and I don't know. I'm just gonna talk while I work, and maybe, you know, you can see some cool stuff. Maybe you care, maybe you don't. If you're still watching, I guess you care a little bit. And in doing these projects, you kind of learn some things about yourself, I guess. About if you're gonna quit. Let's be honest with you. I've wanted to quit doing this a couple times. I literally don't know what I'm doing. That's it. If you're coming here for tutorials, it's kind of like a fake tutorial, because well, maybe it will be helpful. You'll just learn what not to do, which is buy a lot of screws that you don't need. So what I need to do is I need to let the tape measure inside. I can't leave my camera right there. I could. Do I trust the world? I don't. I don't trust the world. When you're measuring in a van, there's nuances, right? There's a curvature of the van, and you might be able to see that it's kind of in here. Then you also have this aspect. Hey, my brother came outside. He's about to work out. You know, I don't know if you know this, but vlogging or talking to a camera is very uncomfortable. And the threshold of uncomfortableness, it becomes highly more uncomfortable when someone is listening. I don't know how you people do it. Anyways, so I found that there's errors that happen when you use a regular tape measure. And I'll explain this to you because it's in normal terms for me. Especially when you're drilling into the van and you're trying to make sure that this bolt and the wood has a hole, and the bolt, the rivet nut that you have on the other side line up. The smallest error of drilling into the wood and having it off a little bit could strip the screw or the bolt inside, the rivet nut. And so you have to make sure that you are very close to being accurate. The benefit of when you're doing that is if you use a washer, it gives you a little bit of leeway on that, but you still have to make sure you're pretty close, and so you have the right angles. The other thing is that you have to keep into consideration slightly, not so much going horizontally, but vertically, is that where you measure on the van versus where you measure on the wood is going to be slightly different, because when you press the wood in to flush with the van to where it sticks through and it kind of goes with the curvature, you're going to have a slight variance of the hole that you drill. So what I found is when you use a regular tape measure like this, it is hard to measure according to those variations of the curvature of the van. My roommate suggested that I use a cloth tape measure, which I think really made a difference. And so what I've been able to do is now when I measure, it's easy to go with the van and kind of, tape at different points so you can line up. And the reason why I'm doing that is when you're measuring out where you put the holes in the wood, you need to also simultaneously, I don't think I'm going to use this one, oh well, but you want to make sure that you're drilling the same distance so that you can measure to the wood. So if I put the rivet nut in here and it's 30 inches away there, then I know that when I go in to drill on my freaking wood, that there's a 30-inch difference. That's something I learned. The other thing that makes it useful is that you measure from points on the van. So if I have this hole right here, and that's where it is, then I can go, hey, I'm 2.5 inches in from this line. So then when I'm measuring on the wood, I measure in 2.5 inches in at the top. And then if this hole was not 2.5 inches, well, it is. But anyways, that's 2.5 inches up there. So but if there was a different hole, it was 3 inches, or it was at 1/2 inch, then I know that I'm a 1/2 inch in, 2.5 inches in, 30 inches between them. Long explanation, if you care. And yeah, I'm gonna do that now. The majority of my time is spent looking, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look and think real quick. just realizing now that I think this is the beauty of doing this. I think that I didn't keep into an account the floor, as you can see right there on this wood right there. So I don't know the distance of if my flooring's going to fit there, which will be a little bit annoying to figure out later, because then I'll have to take this off, this whole post off, and then yeah. So yeah, I'll take that post off, and then from taking that, that post off, I'll measure out the wood. Ooh, there we are. Then I'll have to measure out how the wood's gonna be on the floor, and probably trim up probably a 1/4 inch, maybe a 1/2 inch. The other thing that has been helpful is using a laser level. You can see I'm using this line on the van as the basis for the vertical line of the freaking laser level. Because if I put it on self-leveling, so if I don't have it locked, it's going to go based off the ground, right? So the van's not on a flat surface, right? So the actual direction of up and down, vertical, based off of this, and it changes when I move the van, is like that. So, but when I lock it, I can use the van as a basis. So then what I do is I move it over and I line it up right over the top of this screw. And then what I'm going to do now is I believe I'm going to drill a hole vertically up. I might go on a basis inward of, I might follow a different path. I don't know if I use that one, maybe. Let me see if that should be fine right there. So. I think I also insulated a little bit too soon, but you win some and lose some. Should be good right there. And how far over is this? Off that. 1.5 inches. Do I have 1.5 inches? Yeah, we got 1.5 inches to spare there. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, where's my Sharpie? I had a Sharpie in here. There it is. So I'm going to mark. And because I am not going to, I'm not going to film myself working on this entire thing this whole time. What I am going to do is film a couple moments for you to understand what I got going on. Mostly because I might embarrass myself. So one thing too is you want to make sure your drill bits as straight as it possibly can be. So when you're doing it, creates a pretty straight hole. So that'll be all right. I think we'll be good there. We'll have to measure a couple times. We'll do it right here just for the sake of you being able to see. We got a little bit of an indentation there. This is the comedic part. I'll tell you in a second. Want to get this little piece of metal from back there. Take care of that later. But now I can show you how this Rivet Nut Gun works, which is pretty neat on mosquito, if you ask me. All right. Oh, the funny part is I spend more time trying to make this vlog, and it makes it take longer for me to do this part. This, like, actually just work on stuff. See how that kind of worked there? Just kind of. And now what we have, we unscrew it out, and we just have nice little bolts place. Works out real nice. All right. So, I spent more time talking to the camera than I did working. So, the funny part, this is the funny part, is I don't want to film anymore. And filming made me not want to work. So I'm in a conundrum.